In today's session, we'll talk about Citrix XenMobile. The need that we're seeing in the workplace today is really around mobility and the need to extend applications and data out to users. Meaning if they're leveraging their own devices or corporately owned devices, the workplace is really changing. Instead of it being a traditional PC or Mac-based environment where all the work is done in the office, whether we're on the road, whether we're in a branch office, we need to be able to provide that information to those users and to do it ultimately in a secure fashion. So the change is really a new mobile workspace, meaning it's a seamless experience for those users, whether they're at a desktop in the office, whether they take an iPad or a tablet on the road, or whether they're traveling or waiting and using their phone to access that same applications and data. We want to really remove the thought process of how they get access to data. Do you have to use VPN? What security controls are in place? Make it simpler to access secure things with things like two-factor authentication or Touch ID. And really, from an IT perspective, we need controls around that and ways for us to manage not only devices, but more importantly, be able to manage at the application level. And that's where XenMobile really comes into play, being able to extend applications out to users on any type of device. So from a corporate IT perspective, we're offering the types of applications that users need across a variety of platforms. So if we talk about Windows, Mac, even to iOS and Android devices, we're able to provide applications and not have to necessarily control that device. From a corporate perspective, this really gives the corporation the choice to say, do we want to control the entire device, set policies around that, what type of passcode it has, what applications are installed, or do we want to allow a user to bring their own device in a BYOD scenario and be able to assign just the applications to that component? How does corporate IT implement a single uniform security policy across dozens of device types? We can do that in a multitude of ways. Number one, having a single security system, so a central point where we can control access to devices, where we can push applications out so they can reach back into the data center and connect securely. Also, by leveraging mobile application management, we can encrypt the traffic that goes from the device back to the data center. This allows us to secure corporate applications and control things like authentication and where the data resides. Do we have data that resides on an endpoint? If that device is stolen, is that device in whole encrypted? Or is the application just reaching back into the data center? We're encrypting the components that move across the network, and we're assuring that that piece is secure as well. XenMobile also allows us to separate user and corporate data, meaning that we can, as we push applications to a specific device, those are controlled under corporate policy, corporate security rules, that encryption, but the personal device and the other components, the applications that reside locally on that device, are all under control of the user. So if the corporation needs to remove an application, remove access to an application, they can do that via policy. It's also important to distinguish between MAM, or Mobile Application Management, and MDM, or Mobile Device Management. Mobile Application Management means that we can actually extend those applications to devices without having to do things like install an agent on a device. This really fits well with BYOD, bring your own device, as users can bring in their own device and not have to be concerned about corporate control of that device. We contrast that with MDM, or Mobile Device Management. That is a component where we can actually install an agent on a device, control the entire device via policy. And extending into the mobile world, XenMobile also gives us the ability to have a corporate app store, meaning that we can line up our corporate applications that we want to deploy to mobile alongside other applications that are approved for corporate use. So whether it's a BYOD or corporate-owned device scenario, we can have users go to a one-stop shop where they can either have a self-service application catalog, or as a corporate policy, we can push down specific applications. Ultimately, I think it boils back down to making users more productive. Using XenMobile in conjunction with mobile devices allows us to extend applications and data out into the workplace, no matter where users are. Also allows them to use the corporate device or bring your own device of their choice, and at the same time gives our corporate IT teams control, granular control over the security aspects of the business, and allows both parties to really feel comfortable and functional with what they do day to day.